Assalamu alaikum. As y'all who don't know, that means peace be unto you. And I would like to thank everybody who's tuning in and who will tune in the future. Um, this is where we build at, okay? So without further ado, we're gonna get started. Let's get work done, okay? So we're gonna get started. Okay, so today we will be going over the divine constitution, and I'll be breaking a few things down out the divine constitution that Noble Draw Lee written is basically going to cover. Um, hold on, it's basically going to cover the document that we read at the end of class, and hold on, yeah, this document right here. Okay, so I know we read this at the end of class, and so we just gonna go over it real quick, and I'm gonna kind of explain what's going on in this document. What does it really mean? And maybe you'll get a good grips on what it is this movement is about. And so we'll touch a few on that. And if we got time, we'll try to go through the Holy Quran also, Circle 7 written by Noble Drew Ali. Okay. So to begin with the divine constitution, you see salvation at the top with the star and moon. Okay, and we went through last time what that star and moon really is. Okay, so we know that the star and moon is the study of the cosmos, and just like it said in the Holy Bible, it said, I give you the moon, star, and sun as times and seasons." Okay, so we already know that. I should have had it pulled up. That those things was given to read the seasons. Okay, so let me see if I can find it real quick. Here we go, right here. It says, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Okay, so when you see that star and moon, um, these are basically the things that was given to us by Allah and represented by that star and moon. Um, that's why Islam has that star and moon, because those were the when we wanted to advance at something, we use the stars and the moon to understand life and to understand the seasons and the times. Okay, so that's why that was represented by that. And then in the middle of the document, you see the all-seeing eye, and you see Allah. Okay, and like I explained in the last class, the all-seeing eye is Allah's. Allah sees everything. Okay, and some people say it represents the Akash records. If you look at the Akash records, you will see that it's like a record of everything um, Metaphysically, it's a record of everything that we think, see, do. All of those things are kept in a record. Um, you can't see it, obviously. It's at a higher frequency, but that's what that eye represents. And so, Allah sees everything, knows everything. Okay, and it's kept in a record. Okay, and unity, because this movement is to unite so we can uplift. Okay, and so, once we bring the unity back, then things will work out better for us. Okay, and then, okay, so the Moorish Science Temple of America. We know that the Moorish Science Temple of America was started and founded by Noble Drew Ali to uplift fallen humanity. Okay, and this is the divine constitution and bylaws. Okay, so it was we went over and I can't remember which class, but I believe it was the first one, the first Bill of Rights. Okay, and how this constitution is lawfully chartered. Okay, so when you have a religious corporation, just like the Catholic Church, sometimes, they would get in trouble for doing things. I'm not gonna speak on it, and the state or the local police has no jurisdiction to come in there and, you know, lawfully arrest them. They'll have to be investigated by the FBI, which is federal. They have to be federally investigated because they fall under the protection of the First Amendment of the Constitution. So, you have laws within that body politic. You have laws within the church or the religious organization that um, applies before state or city level laws. Okay, not to get too far off, but these laws, are the laws that Noble Drew Ali chartered and registered. Okay, so also he had also some more laws in the back of the Quran questionnaire that we read from last class. Also, in the back of this, let me go to it real quick. It's also some bylaws that apply also. Okay, and so it's not to get confused that we are a body politic that stands uh, on its own. Okay, so this is additional laws for the Moorish Americans. Okay, and we may go through that today. We'll see how much time we're working with. But I don't want to get too far off topic. I do want to get through this document. And so you'll have a greater understanding of what this movement is about. And this movement has helped me tremendously. And I feel like it can help a lot of people tremendously. So that's why I push it. And that's why I speak on these things. Okay. So let's get into it. So Act One, the Grand Sheik. Okay, so that's Grand Sheik is like a another term for like president or governor. Okay, um, and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law. We just went over that. They were empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, so there's an actual convention, I believe it's every September, that all the Moorish science temples get together and come up with laws or things that are better, us as a whole as a nation, almost like the Congress of the United States have. They have a meeting, right? And so we have our own government, basically, our own law within and under the protection of the so-called government here or union. Okay, union government, right? So it's like a government within a government, or like, like a city would have their own laws underneath the state laws or underneath the federal laws. Okay, so that's how the temple operates, also. Okay, uh, let's continue reading. The assistant grand sheik is to assist the grand sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Okay, so if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So if you ain't living um according to that, then we need a new assistant. You know what I'm saying? So still, Noble Ali left that outlet for the people to make their judgment, you know what I'm saying, on who is over them. It's not just, oh, these people over me and I do what they say. No, we have power, right, to choose um our own representatives as supposedly so-called the United States government. Okay. But let's continue reading. Because if they don't live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, then it's time to redecide. Okay. And and it is known before the members of the Moor Science Temple of America. Right. So it's known. We know that you righteous. You know. Okay. So Act 2, all meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Okay. Um, those five principles are ancient principles, really, because really, if you look at the flag and our flag in um, Morocco, what you would call today Morocco, uh, you would see that same representation. I don't know if I'm gonna pull it up. Let me see. Moroccan flag. Let's do a quick search on Wikipedia. Okay. Oh, here we go. The 5 points on the star stand for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Okay. And this is our national flag. Okay. And so, that those five principles basically explain themselves. If you move in love, you know, you won't fear, like people do today. If you fear or if you hate, right? Um, it throws you off of what you really want to get accomplished. Okay. So the prophet brought us back, our principles also, you know, and love don't truly mean naivety either. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get that confused. Okay. Because you can love without being hurt, right? But also you gotta understand that if you was to love more, um, it will set it up for a better environment, a better society, a better everything. Basically, if you move in love, most of the time, things work out, right? And our second principle, truth, speaks for itself. Also, if you moving, if you thinking about the truth all the time and you trying to present the truth, you know, then you'll pretty much be righteous. Now, um, the truth, it can, like if you tell a lie, right, then you'll have to keep lying and keep lying in order to cover up that other lie. You know what I'm saying? And so when you do that, you won't have peace. right? So these principles are also divinely in order too. So if you love, then you'll get to the truth. And then if you stick with the truth, then you'll be at peace. You won't have to keep lying to lie again, to lie again. And eventually you're gonna be it's gonna cause anxiety. You're gonna get stressed out, right? So that then you won't be at peace. And if you're not at peace, you don't have no freedom. Freedom is just not um free to do what you want. Freedom is freedom in the mind also. Free thinking, free your mind is free, right? You don't have no anxiety, you don't have no fear, none of that. Okay, you can freely think. Okay, so once you get the peace, once you have peace, right? If you, for example, you're in a situation where the situation is unpeaceful, you don't have freedom to think. You can't think. Okay, so if you keep peace, then most of the time you'll get the freedom. And once you have freedom of mind and body and spirit, then justice has taken its course. Everything will be just. And another word for just is right. Okay. So like the justice system supposed to be right. Okay. But it's not until we fix it. But once you if you stick with these five principles, then it I'm not gonna say everything will be good and gravy because that ain't what life is about. Life is about building strength. And so you're gonna go through things while you're here. Don't get that twisted. But if you stick by these five principles, which is our ancient principles, which been here for way beyond what they're talking about. But um if you stick by those five principles, you'll be well off. Okay. So like he explained in this divine constitution and bylaws, um truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7. Circle 7, hold on, let me show y'all what that is. Okay. And I would break down that symbol of that circle in the 7, but I feel like it would resonate more if you found it out on your own because um sometimes symbols explain more than words. Okay. So and we gonna get to it too, also. And just for the record, I don't know everything. Okay. So this is my opinion, my research, what I've gotten out of my reading and teachings of Noble Drew Ali and teachings of other scholars and prophets. So um, I'm just here to present what I found, and people can go do their own research. And so this is the Circle 7 that he's talking about, and this will help in a lot of areas of life. Let me put it like that. Okay. So, um, okay, according to the Circle 7 and love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Okay. Next, he say Friday is our holy day of rest because on Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Okay, so it took me a little research to understand what that was saying, but um, if you get into the biblical text or read the Holy Bible, um, you'll understand what it is he's talking about. So I'm gonna take a few minutes to try to see if I could take y'all through it and shed some light on it. Okay, and a lot of people get it confused where they think that Islam and and the Bible are contradicting, but really in reality, uh, the Quran that Muhammad wrote, Muhammad of Mecca wrote, um, and the Quran that Noble Ali wrote are both really reciting the Bible. Okay, so that ancient word, that wisdom, right, from Allah, that we call the Bible or that we call the Quran, or that we call the Holy Quran Circle 7, is from the Most High. Okay, all of it. And so, um, I don't like to contradict or go into all this versus that, because if you really read the Quran, it's speaking about the Bible, right? And it's really reciting and breaking down the Bible, okay, using truth to recite it, okay. And so let's go into what it said. Friday is the was the first. On Friday, the first man was formed in flesh. Okay, so what is that talking about? What is that talking about? Okay, so if you go to Genesis, right? Um, if you go to Genesis, okay, it says Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish and over the sea and over the fowl of the earth and over the cattle and over the earth and all the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Okay, so this was day 6, okay? Because in day 5 right here in the evening and the morning or the 5th day, uh that was before. Okay, so this will be day 6. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so in the 5th day, he created the cattle and beasts and all of that, and saw that it was good. Okay, so in the 6th day, we were created, man. Okay, and so um, if you go back to it and you look at a original calendar, all the original calendars normally started with Sunday. Okay, and um, Sunday, right? We know that to be true because Sunday um, was the light. Okay, so sun, not to get too deep, but the sun, right, represents Sunday. Okay, Monday represents Moon Day. Okay, and we're not gonna get too far off, but you can understand that Sunday was the first day um was the first day of creation. He said, "Let there be light." Okay, let there be light. That light was the um the first day. Okay, the first day. Okay, but so let me get back to my point. So Sunday would have been the first day. Monday would have been the second day. Tuesday would have been the third day. Wednesday would have been the fourth day. Thursday would have been the fifth day. And Friday would have been the sixth day. Okay. Saturday would have been the seventh day where he rested. He rested on Saturday. If you go to any Israelite or Jewish culture, the Sabbath is on a Saturday. It's not on Sunday. Okay. And that's proven fact. Okay. So Friday would have been the day in which we were created on the sixth day. Okay, and rested on the seventh. Okay, so and then it says first man was formed in flesh, and on Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his father God Allah. Okay, so again we're talking about Jesus. Okay, and so Jesus ascended um on the day after the feast. Okay, he ascended on the day before the feast. I'm sorry, which was a Friday. Okay, so let me see if I can. I had it pulled up here. Hold up. We could do a quick Google search. It says, does some scholars believe that all four gospels place the crucifixion on Friday, 14th Nisan? Okay, Nisan. Okay, and that we understand that because of the he said in the Bible the Passover. He said, um, hold on, let me see, let me find where I was at. Okay, and this is talking about the Passover. Hold on, let me go back. I believe it's Luke chapter 22. Um, let me see. Okay, hold on, let me find which verse it is. Um, man, I had the verse. I just lost. Just lost. Man, no good. No good. Oh, okay. Uh, I think it's verse 13. And they went and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. And when the hour was come, he sat down, and 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom. Okay. And so this is when it was talking about the bread as his body and the drink the cup as the blood, right? And that has symbolic meaning, but we're not gonna get into that today. We are gonna get into that at a later date. Okay. But before he sat down right there, before the feast, the feast of the Passover is on the feast is on a I believe the feast is on a Saturday, but before I mean the feast is on the day before the last day on the Friday. Okay, and I believe it's a week. I believe that Passover is a week. Okay, so this is a quick Wikipedia search on the Passover. Okay, and Passover is also called Pesach. Pasha. I think I'm saying it correctly. Excuse me if I'm not. Remember that word because we're going to go into that and why they say, why they speak of Easter as being the resurrection of Jesus because that's really the Passover celebration, which is, let me go to it real quick. So you don't think I'm just making this stuff up. Okay, so this is Easter with quick Wikipedia, also called Pasha. Pasha. Okay, or Resurrection Sunday, which was not on a Sunday, but you know, hey, they like playing games with us, like telling us that Easter bunnies lay rabbit eggs, and or the Easter bunnies lay chicken eggs. I'm sorry. They like playing little games with our mind like that, knowing that the egg is um symbolic to new life, right? And what do you have in the spring? New life, right? When everything returns back, it comes from out of winter being dormant and returns back to new, right? But they don't get that far into it. They just tell you that a rabbit lay chicken eggs. We go around looking for chicken eggs that a rabbit laid. But we're not gonna get too far off. Okay, we're gonna give you the real meaning of what it really is. Okay. And so the etymology of Easter, right? As we've seen, etymology just means where the word comes from or the root word. Okay. We know the etymology of Easter traced back to Pasha, which was what? The Passover. Okay, and that's why they say that Jesus' birthday or Jesus' resurrection is Easter, and so that's represented by I believe it's the first moon, I want to say, of that month or something, but I don't want to get too far off. Oh, here we go, right here. Easter and the holidays that are related to it are a movable feast. That's why Easter is sometimes on different days. It's always on different days because they're what? Looking at the what? The star and the moon. They're looking at the moon to trace the new month. Okay. So they'll know when is the new month. Why? Because Allah said I gave you signs. I gave you star, moon, and sun to keep track of time. Okay. So they're movable feasts in that they do not fall on a fixed date in Gregorian or Julian calendars. Okay, both of which follow the cycle of the sun and the seasons. Instead, the date of Easter is determined on a lunar calendar is a calendar in many cultures whose date indicates both moon phases and the time of the solar year. The solar year is defined as tropical year. Then the lunar solar calendar will give an indication of the season if it is taken at a sidereal year. We're not gonna keep going too far. Okay, similar to the Hebrew calendar. Okay, let me get to my point. I don't want to get too far off. Council did not decree that Easter must fall on Sunday. Hold on. The first Nicene councils who came up with you know these things. Okay, the council did not decree that Easter must fall on Sunday, but this is already practiced almost everywhere. Okay, um, but as we know, I'm not going to get too far off. We know that Pasha, okay, is the etymology for Easter. Okay, and that's when Jesus died in the Bible, and that's why they have the Easter gathering or Easter celebration is really represented by the Passover. Now they'll tell you that the Passover is in January. That's incorrect. It's incorrect because not gonna take you to it today, but you can do a little bit of research and figure out that they celebrated new life. That's what the Easter egg was for. Okay, so Pasha is also a name by which Jesus himself is remembered in the Orthodox Church, especially in connection with his resurrection and with the season of his celebration. Okay, and that was the new year before they made the new year. Okay, um, let me see if I get everything. Okay, so that's Pesach or Passover, and so that's when Jesus that's when Jesus resurrected, and it was on the Passover, the day before the Passover, the last day of Passover, when they do the feast. They do the feast, I believe, from the evening until, because the days started on the evening. Okay, so it's the evening until the next day. So it would have been Friday evening is when they would have did the supper. Okay, into next day evening, Saturday evening. Okay, the last day. Okay, so that's just a little history. So when you understand, when you celebrate Easter, you're celebrating the Passover, really. And a lot of people will say, "What is the Passover?" Okay, so just a little briefing on the Passover in the Bible. Let me see if I got it pulled up. In the Bible, the uh, the Israelites were enslaved to the Egyptians. Okay, and let me see if I can find it because I like showing y'all. I don't just like talking. But in the Bible, the Egyptians was enslaving the Israelites or the Hebrew people, and so um, he said once I bring you out, um, I'm going to plague them. Okay, the plagues of Egypt. He plagued them, and those who took the blood of a lamb and put it over their house was not affected by the plague. And so, for this reason, they do Passover semblance. Okay, they do a Passover semblance and dinner or feast in order to represent this time in which the Allah brought them from the enslavement of the Egyptians and plagued them. Okay. And he passed over all of the houses that had the blood of the lamb above it. Okay. And so let me see if I can find it. If not, you could do a quick research on Wikipedia and they'll give you Bible verses, right? Um, Matter of fact, I think I got to pull it up to where you can go and see all about this. Okay. And and you can figure out where Easter come from. Okay. And so not to get too far off my point, um uh Jesus was uh Jesus was risen or resurrected in on a Friday. Okay. And even that has symbolic meaning. We're not gonna go too far today. Okay. We're gonna stick to this divine constitution. And so that's why Friday um would be our holy day because is when man first departed out of flesh and brought us the gospel, okay, of you know um the gospel of what it is that happens after life and death. Now, this wasn't the first time, obviously we know that, but it was the first time that it was monotheist, monotheistic. Okay, if I'm saying that right. So, yes, our ancestors in Egypt, because those are our ancestors who created the first religion. Yes, I don't take no credit from them, even though they veered off. Right? They veered off. Yeah, they did. But Allah, that's why they said that's the Israelites was his chosen people because they went back to the one God of the universe. Okay, not a whole bunch of guys that all the priests was uh taking people money and oh give me money, give me sacrifices into my God, and then the river gonna replenish you more. Okay, it's gonna flow even better to your crop. Well, Who created the river? You know, that's why he was the chosen. That's why the Israelites was the chosen. It was like, let's go back to the original creator, not praising all these things. Let's go back to the source of who created it, right? And so, um, that concept came out of that. And so for that reason, you know, that is our holy day. That is our holy day, right? And so that example of Jesus ascending gave man hope, or not just hope, but a reason to live, and know that you will ascend unto your Father, back from which you came, right? And you will return back to which you came. Okay. And so um that's the reason why Friday is our holy day. In a nutshell, that's my opinion. Please, please, please go do your research and bring it to the table so we can look at these things, so we can advance. You know what I'm saying? As a group, we can each bring our own opinion, our own uh perspective. Okay. So that's what I pulled out of it from my research and my reading of the Bible, reading of the Quran, and reading of the Circle 7 Quran. And that's what I pulled out of it. So we're gonna continue on. Act 3. Okay. Um, Act 3 says love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the our 5 principles, must be proclaimed and practiced by all members, okay, of the Moor Science Temple of America. Gotta go too deep into that. No, that's pretty self-explanatory. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Okay? So we're not falsely accusing anybody, you know. Because if you do that, it can cause harm. That's not what we here to do, right? But it said falsely accused. It didn't just say accused, okay? So, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Point blank and simple. But I'm gonna make sure that my judgment is clear and factual before I accuse any of my brothers and sisters of anything. Okay? So, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Um, Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws. He did say laws. Okay. And all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Okay. So this is not an anti-government thing. When I first joined into the movement, I thought that, oh yeah, we starting our own government, and we're gonna do our own thing. And it sounds good, but when you understand the logic in it, first of all, our ancestors built this government, right? And they blood, sweat, and tears is what built this government and got it to where is this greatness come from, right? And so because we fought in every war, and without us, our ancestors, um, none of these wars probably would have ever been won. Just to be real, okay? So we got investment in this government, okay? So to throw it all away and say that ain't mine would be like me putting my money into a company, and and me investing my money into a company, when the company start doing bad, I'm saying I don't want my money. That ain't mine. What? No, I need mine. If it's doing bad, we'll see if it's gonna pick back up. If not, then I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna pull out and say, look, now let's create a new investment, okay? And that's lawfully um there's a lawful way to do that if we were to do that, right? It's called, let me go to it real quick. I don't like leaving nobody um in confusion. So let me go to it real quick. If you did want to say the government is full of crooks, right? But you did everything correctly, right? On paper, lawfully, and you're still dealing with the crooks. Well, once you um come back into the constitutional fold of government and you are looked at as a human being and not property, then guess what applies? This Declaration of Independence applies. Yes, because why? Because all men are created equal, not just what you would call white men, not what you would call Chinese men, all men, right? But it didn't say all slaves. It did not. Okay, so wordplay is real specific when it comes to government. Okay, but all men are created equal, so this would apply. And guess what? Hmm. Let's read it. We're just gonna read it. Okay, we're gonna read this first little part. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what could be done when your government get out of control. It's your government. Okay, so there's a way when things get out of control. Example like on Squid Games, not get too far off. Squid Games, they had the decision to what? Stop playing. Problem is, we can't get everybody on the same page to make that type of vote. Okay, but let's read through it. We hold this is the Declaration of Independence. We're gonna skip down um to the second paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Okay. Ooh, I want to get into that, but we're gonna keep going. Unalienable rights. And you know what? Unalienable rights. Let's go to it. Let's just go to it. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, because we want to know. Black's Law Dictionary, fourth edition. Gotta keep one of them around so you'll know the true meaning according to law. Okay. And we're looking for unalienable rights. Because this document do apply to you. Yes. As a free man, yes. As a slave, no. No, you don't. I'm sorry. And so, they have tricked us out of our nationality in order so we don't have these protections. Okay. But I'm gonna show you when, because some people might say, they ain't gonna, I don't care who you is, they ain't gonna all right. Yeah. And there's something that you do when they don't. When they keep doing it, this is not nothing new. This is the same thing that they went through. Okay? And you know, they fought. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm not promoting none of that because there's a way to do that. There's a way to do that. Okay? And to really be truthful, ain't none of us ready. Just to be truthful. Ain't none of us going to the range. Ain't none of us, you know what I'm saying? And plus, you talking about a government that got well, I ain't gonna say the government because it's our government, but you talking about some crooks who got drones that'll blow up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Gonna blow up real quick just by a click of a button. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be strategic in your moving and your dealings. You can't just go out there and you can't just go out there and do do stupid things. I am tripping. You can't just go out there and do stupid things. You gotta be strategic when you do things, okay? And Noble Drew Ali understood this, and so when we go, I think we're gonna go through the Declaration of Independence on I think we're gonna go through the Declaration of Independence on Sunday, and we are going to break down um the protocol. Okay, something right. I'm having trouble finding this word, y'all. Let me hold up. Just give me, bear with me, cause we're getting work done. You dig? Unalienable, unalienable, unalienable. Uh, what is going on? What is going on? Unalienable, right here. Uh, inalienable. Wow, they're gonna make us look up inalienable now. Incapable of being aliened, that is sold and transferred. They can't be sold, they can't be transferred. Okay, so we just gonna stick with that. Okay, unalienable. So your rights are unalienable. Okay, they can't be sold, they can't be transferred. Okay, hold on. Unalienable rights. They can't be sold, they can't be transferred. Your rights can't be sold or can't be transferred. Okay. So they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Can't be sold, can't be transferred. Among them, that's not all of them. Okay. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men to secure them rights, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. We the people, right? We the people, not we the property. There's a difference, okay? That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, hold on. This is the solution right here. This is another solution when the crooks get out of control. It is the right of the people to alter or to what? Abolish it. Abolish it. Okay? Abolish it. When the crooks not listening. You know what I'm saying? But like we explained before, like we're gonna go over in Sunday's class, law class, right? There's a protocol. Okay, so every nation um follows the same divine law. Before you um before you try to abolish something or get rid of something or go to war with something or whatever it is you're gonna do to something, guess what? You have to give them um a lawful notice, right? And so these are done in grievances. Like we went over, I think in one of those classes, I believe it was uh Bill of Rights one. Go check their video out. Um, they named all of these grievances, and we're gonna go over them tomorrow. I mean, Sunday in our law class. And so when Great Britain, when the people that came over here, the first um um colonists or whatnot, or um uh George, or what's his name, Benjamin Franklin and John Adams and all these people, and before the European, when they came over here, before they was granted their Declaration of Independence or granted their independence, they were running from Great Britain. Okay, they were running from Great Britain, and Great Britain had them enslaved. Okay, and so they was like, you know what? We ain't doing that no more. We ain't paying your taxes. Boston Tea Party. You know what I'm saying? They threw the tea over the boat. They said we not paying it. We not doing none of that. Y'all taxing, y'all overtaxing us. Y'all inflating us. Y'all doing too much. Okay, and so they wrote it down. They said we declare our independence from y'all because y'all tripping. Okay, and they wrote it down. They said, y'all doing this, that, this, that, this, that. We went over that. Okay, we're gonna go over it in tomorrow class. I mean Sunday, excuse me. And so this is an order of, this is an order of how divine law is produced. Okay, so my saying that is until we follow that order, right? This is the government that's in play, right? And so um sometimes we gotta look at it and say, um, it's we gotta try all our ways before we say, let's get rid of it. Okay. And so to my knowledge and no draw Lee knowledge, since we built it, it would be a good idea for us to fix it. And the way that you fix it is lawfully. Okay. And so um and our ancestors is part and parcel, right, of the said government, as we read in Act 4. As we just read in Act 4. He said, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live life accordingly. So just like I told you, our ancestors put that blood, sweat, and tears into building it, went to wars. We built this nation, okay? Not to get that twisted. But when the crooks get out of line, you do what you do in the Declaration of Independence, okay? But before all that, we gotta do what's lawful. But I wanted to look up you are part and parcel because when I first seen that word parcel, Parcel, I did not know what that meant. Okay, straight up, I didn't know what that meant, so I had to go look it up. Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, got to pull it up this time. I gotta wait. Okay, so parcel. Okay, we talking about the verb, not the noun. You are part and parcel. That's I think a verb. Okay, and used in the verb form. To divide in an estate. To divide in an estate. Okay, so um then I said, what is an estate? Okay, so let's go. Gotta pull it up too. Then gotta wait. Okay. An estate is the interest which one has in lands or in other subject of property. So we have an interest in this land. We have invested our time. We have invested our energy. We have invested our blood and our sweat and our tears in this land. Lands, right? And so really it was our land first. But um the government, we have invested our time, so we have a interest in this government. Okay, so um it will be wise for us to come back into the fold of that government. And when that government still act like crooks, what do? I ain't gonna say it. We know. But like I said, we gotta give them lawful notice. And um as much as I love the energy of our protesting and things of that nature, that's not really a lawful notice. It's not. I'm sorry. That's not that's not how the nations do it. Okay? That's not divine law. Okay, so until we move like that, um, we'll just be given civil rights. And you gotta understand, you can protest for civil rights, you get civil rights, yeah. But human rights is something different. Okay? There's something different. Them are unalienable rights. Okay? Okay. Let's continue on though. So we know that we are part and parcel of the government. Just explain why. Okay. And so we're gonna continue on to Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and the constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Okay. That's I just explained that why too. Okay, so let's continue on. Act 6. Okay, with us all members must proclaim their nationality. We know that the temple is lawfully chartered through the state. When you want to put something on the record, right, you go get it notarized, okay, by a notary, okay. And so when you proclaim your nationality through the temple, you are putting it on the record, right? On the record, because the temple is registered, lawful affidavit, okay, like a notary. That's what that basically is right there. Okay. So when you record your nationality, now it's not to be mistaken. You're not to be mistaken as property, aka uh colored folk, Negro, black people, you know. Let's get to it. Hold on. So with us, all members are to proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government. Just went over that. Okay. And know that they are not Negro, colored folk, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. So 1779 until 1865. In 1779, they were, like I was explaining, fighting the British. They was fighting Great Britain, okay? American War of Independence, right? They were, the 13 colonies was fighting Great Britain for their independence. Okay, so um to sum it all up, they used us, right, to win that war. Okay, and so they enslaved us in order to use us to win that war. Okay, and so we were enslaved until 1865. Well, what happened in 1865? You know that we had the um, freeing of the slaves, the 13th Amendment, Abraham Lincoln. Okay, let's just see if we can do a quick research, Google search, whatever we do. Um, doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, let's not go there. It's too much. Too much. Hold on. When quick Google search, were the slaves free? 1863, Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, and then let's see. Oh yeah, he signed. So he signed the proclamation 1863, and then I think the 13th Amendment was passed. Yeah, 13th Amendment. Congress passed the 13th Amendment by necessary two-thirds vote on January 31st, 1865. So uh, the Emancipation Proclamation was just proclaiming that we were emancipated or free. Okay, and then they came back and made it law with the 13th Amendment in the Constitution. Okay, and the 13th Amendment in the Constitution. Um, let me show y'all that real quick. I'm like giving you facts. I don't want to go too far off, but this is what I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this, but we're gonna go and we're gonna go and look at it real quick. Okay, that was it, but hold up, Constitution. What am I doing? Oh, I got that tab. Okay, Let's go to the 13th Amendment real quick. It was ratified in 1865. No thanks. 18. What is this? Wait a minute. This is. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so ratified 1865. 13th Amendment, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime. Remember that, because when we go into that 13th Amendment, we'll get into that. Except as a punishment for crime. So neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Okay, aka freemen of the slaves, supposedly. Um, but as you know, the message didn't get out till June 19th, years later or a year later, um, freeing the last slaves in Texas. We're not gonna go too far into that, but that's why people celebrate Juneteenth, right? Because that was the last freeing of the slaves. It didn't happen until way later, after they signed this bill. Okay, so Noble Drawley was dropping some jewels right there. Because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. Those names were given to us. We did not call ourselves Negroes, colored folk, black people, or Ethiopians. Okay, no, we didn't claim that. Okay, right. So, um, let's continue on. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. Pause. When foreign or what you call foreigners come over here, they have to proclaim their nationality to get their green card. You'll never hear a Chinese person saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the yellow person." You'll never hear the so-called African or Nigerian or whatever nation they come up saying, "Yeah, I'm the black person or the brown person." No, they don't claim those colors because you wouldn't get no green card. You can't live over here without that. Those titles and color folk and all of those titles were given to slaves. Okay. Um, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Okay, so the ancient Moabites. Who is the ancient Moabites? Who are the ancient Moabites? Let's go into it. Now, this is when we were recognized. We can trace it back to biblical times, but ancient Moabites went before the biblical times. It's just a name that we can trace back to historically in the Bible. Okay, so as you would know, he said the Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, and so um, we were those Moabites in the Bible that were driven out by Joshua. Okay, so if you look at a map, okay, you see Moab down here. Okay, Moab was right by the close that door, close that door on the car. Moab was right here, next to the salts, the sea salt, the sea of salt. Okay, okay, and Moab, which were the Moabites come from Moab, were ran out by Jericho. Okay, I mean not Jericho. I'm sorry, excuse me. Joshua, who crossed across the walls of Jericho into the plains of Moab. Okay, and ran us west. Okay, but let me show you in the Bible. This is Joshua 13. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find um what I was talking about. We're getting work done. Oh, here we go. So Joshua 13, verse 32. These are the countries which Moses did distribute for the inheritance in the plains of Moab on the other side of Jordan by Jericho eastward. Okay. So we look at the plains of Moab. If you can see, this is the plains of Moab right here. Okay. Where the Moabites were ran out. Why? Because we was like all the other nations, okay? And we started um following at the false gods. Baal, as people might say. You know what I'm saying? And so we were ran out. The most high was like, okay, y'all not listening because um not to get too far off, but if you look into Moab and Moab was the son of Lot, and Lot was Abraham's um, nephew. And so Lot, when Allah came to Lot and he told him to get your people out of the Sodom and Gomorrah because he was about to burn it. Okay, and so we know that Sodom and Gomorrah was upper upper Africa. Okay, I believe that was Upper Africa, but don't quote me on it. But he said I'm gonna burn it, and so they and you seen Lot begin Moab, okay, and his wife turned back and got turned to a pillar of salt. But Lot was was one of the most high favorite, you know. So we were monotheists. We believed in the Father of the universe. You know what I'm saying? And this was before the Israelite came. This was before uh, Jacob, and you know this was back in Abraham time. Okay, so um, we were on the right path. We just fell off, and so for that reason, yes, Allah sent Joshua, and Joshua ran us up out of there. Okay. And so we went and traveled west. Okay. And so when we traveled west, we passed through Africa. I mean Egypt, which was at that time was dominant too. Okay. And so let me find the map. So if you can see on the map here, let me zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so you'll see right around here what they call the Middle East, which ain't really no Middle East. That's Asia. That's the continent of Asia. But in the Middle East, you would have seen Moab would have been right here. And so when Joshua came, um, according to the Most High, we were ran out and we crossed through Egypt, right? And we began to settle over here on the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. And so that story where they tell you that we were stolen off the coast of Africa, right? But they don't tell you what was the name that we called ourselves before we were stolen, right? Or before we was allegedly stolen, okay? Because there's questions about that story. Um, Those were the Moabites that was ran out that went west, right, and inhabited these colonies of, if you look right here, Tunis. If you look right there, Tunis, Tripoli. Okay, keep these names in mind. Okay, because I'm gonna show you something. That Algiers, okay, and Morocco, right? Morocco, present day Morocco. But these colonies or these this empire, because all of these nations or states or countries today were an empire. And if you know what an empire is, it's a group of nations, states, or countries. And so um, we went west. Okay, go west, young man. That's where that came from. And so all of these major glamorous cities, when you go back and do your research, and you'll see the extravagant buildings and the extravagant things that we did were the doings of the Moabites who went west and settled out here before anybody settled out here. So um and then we didn't just stop there. We kept traveling on and on into the Americas. Okay, we didn't stop there. We just kept building cities and growing until we reached the Americas before um, anybody got here. And so, if you look at Noble Drew Ali's teachings, um, this is expressed in the Quran. Okay, and we're going. I don't want to take too much time up today, but we are going to get into this because this is key. Key. Okay, but we're gonna go into a couple of key facts out of here that Noble Drew Ali brought to us, and recognizing how and why we are those Moabites. The ancient name for Moabite, I mean the ancient name for Moroccans, will be Moabites. Okay, Moabites. Okay, and so this is out of the Holy Quran. Okay, and we're gonna jump down. We're gonna jump down to the bottom of the page. It says the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua. By Joshua. And received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. Okay, Egypt was the capital at that time. Okay, I'm not gonna get too far because we're gonna read this in this reading, but I do want to give you a basis on what it is you're reading. Okay, so Egypt stretched far too. Okay, but in later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. Okay, and I just showed you those what he said. Okay, Morocco, right there. Algiers, right there. Tunis, right there. Tripoli. Okay. And so as we pass through Egypt, right, because Egypt was the capital, Egypt, um, the pharaohs were ruling at that time. Get it twisted. They had major power. Well, I should say our ancestors, because we all one, but split up into nations, they had that power at the time. And so they we settled right here um, and kept continuing west, build these kingdoms, okay? And then we settled, okay? So that's how even the Mexicans will be considered Moabites, the ancient Moabites who were driven out. All of those people who went west, right, will be considered Moabites, and today Moorish, Moorish. Okay, and so that's how we would be Moorish Americans. And they say we was stolen off that coast, but nah, I doubt it. When you look up in the Conquest, it's a movie called The Conquest of Paradise. It's 1492 Conquest of Paradise. Let me see. Did I have it pulled up? Nope, but I'll pull it up real quick for you. I'll just yeah. Um, this movie right here, good movie, great movie. Matter of fact, I was trying to find the scene where he actually was using a tool to sell the seeds, and he got that tool from the Moors. Okay, so after we fell in 1492, he used us and our wisdom to navigate the seas to get over here. As you can see, when you look into the movie, they thought the world was flat. They kept shipwrecking and things of that nature, right? They didn't understand how to navigate the seas as the Moors did, and so once we fell in 1492, he used us. If you look in, he had letters too. I'm not gonna go too far in depth because that them letters, when you look into them, get real deep. Okay, and so in Columbus' letters, he explains how he used us to get over here, but that was after we failed. Once we failed, Queen Isabella and Fernando, whatever his name is, um, they conquered the Moors and they took us and used us to get over here. And I believe that's where that slavery came from. And then they came over here and enslaved the rest of our brothers and sisters in Americas that we were already trading with, aka the other Native Americans, which I call indigenous people, or Mexicans, which were the indigenous people in America, were also considered Moabites, those who traveled west, who was ran out by Joshua. All of those people uh, are considered Moabites or Moors, and um, and we ruled until 1492 after the conquest of Granada, the fall of Granada. I'm gonna just put it up there. I'm not gonna go into too far into that. I ain't even spell that right, but I bet you pull up. Fall of Granada. Okay. So go look that up. 1492, Granada, the fall of the Moors. Okay. And after that is when our enslavement came. Okay. Before that, we were great people. Okay. And with that fall was the fall of our nationality. And then it took years, but we was also labeled, those labels after that. Okay. Those labels was placed upon us. And so when you go look that up, you'll understand this movie and how they used us to get over here. Okay. Let me go back to my point. Um, okay. Boom. Okay, so back to this divine constitution and bylaws. Okay, so we know the Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, which I showed you who the ancient Moabites was according to the Bible biblical terms, which the Bible is a history book also, representing naming the tribes and um, the preserved history. Okay, um, so, according to the Bible, we were the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. I just showed you uh, what that was and the kingdoms that we ruled in and the empire that we ran. And yeah, let's continue on. We're gonna get deeper into that. Don't get lost right there because we still gonna get into that as we read through this Quran. And as you can see, this is the fifth page, of the Quran, and he already dropping some jewels for you to go and research. So a lot of people think that we contradicting to the Bible. Not true. I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, and I've read the Circle 7 Quran, and they all have similarities. They all really is saying the same thing. It's the great wisdom from our ancestors to help you evolve into your God self. Okay. Um, and get back connected with the most highest God. Okay. Okay, not right now. Not right now. Go chase him out there. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, Noble Ali's knowledge coincides with what the Bible is saying. Don't get it twisted. And when I first joined the movement, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought this was just about going out there and challenging the police and doing all that ignorant stuff that I thought this movement was about. But don't get it twisted. We learning true history, true knowledge, true wisdom. Okay, so I never throw none of it away ever. Okay, so Act 7. Let's continue on. We're gonna finish up. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel, there go that word again, of all uplifting acts of the Moor Science Temple of America. Now, why? Because that's how you're gonna uplift the nation. Okay, so um, Noble Drew Ali understood um, that there was certain protocols in order to be um, successful as a nation. Okay, so he wrote it down in the laws, so it's not to be confused. Even after he's gone and passed away, you still have these laws to where, okay, this is how it should be ran. If it's not, then guess what? That grand body need to come together and figure out how we're gonna get it back right. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where our protection at. But further on, um, members members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moor Science Temple of America. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful, right? So members must pay their dues, okay? So, just like the Social Security program, right? You pay your dues into the Social Security program, right? And when you get older and you can't work anymore, now you have financial stability. Okay, so Noble Drew Ali understood this, and we're not gonna go too far into it, but he put those dues and how they should be paid, and what are they for, you know, and these things in the Quran questions for Moorish America. And you can get to this out the Library of Congress, which is a government website, and so you can review it on your own. It's in the back of it, page 9. Okay, and so all members are to attend their meetings and public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents. Yes, on the first case, and on the second case, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. Which will go on your emergency fund. So if you have an emergency, guess what? You got money saved up in there for that. Okay. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. If he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Uplifting Fund, I heard that it would it's used for like building businesses and things of that nature. If you go and you look at these our Chinese brothers or our Japanese brothers, they will have plazas with businesses. Why? And then they got their own bank. Why? Because they understood that working together and building finance together and having it going towards a goal or a fund or something that that can benefit the nation as a whole is that that would be more wiser. Okay, because I guarantee you that if they take $1 and they make $1, it's gonna transfer at least 10 times within their community or within that plaza before it leaves that plaza. So now you're building economic strength within a nation. Building economic strength within the nation. Okay. And that's what Noble Ali was trying to do with these dues and these funds. We're not gonna go into it because we're gonna get into it at a later date. But that's just a brief um, summary of what dues and why to pay dues. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, that's smart. What are our future generations gonna do if you don't leave them anything but debt? We're gonna never make it out of this hole. So man was wise, man. And when you look into what he did and why he did it, you understand, dang, this was wise. And he did it. Had several temples set up, actually functioning and still functioning till this day. Yes. Okay. We just not told about this information. And they hide this information. And then you'll see people, like, I no disrespect, like my brothers in the Nation of Islam using this information and uplifting a nation with the information and never explain where they, well, I ain't gonna say never because he did explain it, his brother. Matter of fact, dang, I hate getting off, man, but I gotta give y'all these keys. So let's see. Hold on, bear with me, because we're getting work done. We're getting work done. Okay. And so Elijah Muhammad, brother, explains ooh, they take it off. Oh no, here we go. His brother explained where Elijah got the information from. And we're not gonna watch it.
I'm gonna put on another hat. And then we'll talk a little bit about it. I don't want you to see my bald head. This one. How many seen these before? Good. Now this hat was given to me from my sister-in-law after a man who was a minister in the minister class after he had passed. This brother was named Normal Noble. That was his name that owned this hat. I never had one of my own because I didn't have one made at that time. I never had one of these. This was the first hat, the first something for us to wear to let the black people, white people, red people, green people, that we own the planet Earth.
Go through the whole rainbow.
This was the first one. And the devils was afraid of it.
Yes, sir.
White people's the devils, sister.
That's right.
I said white people is the devil.
Right. That's right. Yes, sir. Right.
This was the first one that I had ever seen. And I saw the one that Master Farad wore. I seen his. The hat that he had on the first time that I saw him, it had letters on it. And the letters was just like the letters you see here. Excuse me. F, J, E, and I. It was at the corner to fit down on the hat. So you could read it, F, J, F, J, E, and I, just like here. That was the first time that I seen him with the hat on, like this. Now,
Keep in mind, he said Farad Muhammad. Okay, we're gonna get into that.
there was people before he came that belonged to the Moorish Americans by Noble Drew Ali.
There it is. There it is. There it is. So we know that the Nation of Islam got their information from Noble Drew Ali. Okay, and so they came out publicly and said it years on down the road. But my point in bringing that up is that a lot of people use Noble Drew Ali teachings without explaining Noble Drew Ali and where they got it from. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, let me do a quick search, real quick, Wikipedia, real quick, and uh, it'll tell you right here, right, in the Noble Drew Ali Wikipedia under legacy, Wallace Farad Muhammad. He's the one who started the Nation of Islam. He's the one who started. He the one who told. He the one who enlightened Elijah Muhammad, right? The founder of Nation of Islam, was previously a prominent member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. He was a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. He studied under Noble Drew Ali, and he took the information and passed it on down. Okay, so a lot of people understand who Noble Drew Ali is, but nobody talks about him. Nobody gives you the keys to go and redeem yourself and free yourself. Okay, and so that's what we're doing on TrueTube 7. We're gonna give you those keys, and hopefully you can find a legitimate temple and get to it, so you can help build your nation too. You know, but yeah, a lot of these organizations um, built using the Noble Drew Ali teachings. Okay, and let me continue on so we can finish up. I don't want to hold y'all too long. I know it's a lot of information. I know we can be here all night, but we ain't gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit at a time. Okay, because what else he said? He said, if I told you everything, I'll put you back to sleep. Okay, so let's continue on. Um, Husband, you must support your wife and children. That's law. Okay, wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Okay, that's just a natural order of things. Um, Women are more nurturers, right? And we're more of the hunter and gatherer. Okay, so that just works one in hand with nature. Okay. Sons and daughters must obey your father and mother and be industrious and become part of uplifting of humanity. So we should be teaching our children this information so they can go out and teach their friends and further uplift fallen humanity before they get um, processed with all this junk information, okay? And you know that would be the best way to you know get it to them early, okay? All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Okay. Um, I'm not gonna go into it today, but you know, they said it would be many messengers that come. Um, and so he was one of those messengers. Okay. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the father of the universe, the father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. And we know Amen means so be it. Okay, so Allah is my protector. You know what that is? My guide. He's going to guide you if you ask him. And my salvation. He's going to save you whenever you know, get into a bind. You know, you gonna sin. That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? But just know that Allah is always there within your heart. Just stop for a minute, be still, and talk to him. Okay. And so that's the divine constitution. We broke that down. Um, I would like to really give honors. I forgot to do this, but I would like to say Alhamdulillah. And that means all praise is due to Allah. Because without Allah, it would be no order of things. Uh it would be no us. Okay. And so that's first and foremost. And then I would like to give honors to Noble Drew Ali because he brought us this information to redeem ourselves and connect ourselves back with Allah. Okay. And I would like to give honors to Marcus Garvey because he was his forerunner who brought the nation together. Right. And Marcus Garvey, when you look up Marcus Garvey, you'll see what he did and all the extravagant things he did as far as bringing us together as a nation. You know, and Noble Drew Ali came right behind him, brought the really around the same time and brought the national part of it. So go look at Marcus Garvey also. Okay. And so that's gonna pretty much do it for this class today. I appreciate you giving me your time and your ear. And we'll see you back here Sunday. And we're going to get work done. So I hit all my points. Yes. Okay. We're done here. Let's close out.